I am sitting here with this gorgeous, stunning background in Gran Canaria, Spain, all because I decided to bet on myself and teach abroad. And in this 5-part series, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact steps that I took to make this a reality. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not qualified, I can't do it. We're going to dispel all of the myths that you have about teaching abroad so you can start your journey. I'm Shanice, the founder of Teach, Travel, Thrive, and I've taught in Kuwait, Qatar, and the UAE, and I'm going to share with you exactly how you can do the same thing. First things first, let me tell you exactly who teaching abroad is for, because I feel like a lot of people have this misconception that it's only for people who want to teach English. Spoiler alert, I am not an English teacher. I am certified K-6 with endorsements in reading and special education, and while I've been abroad these 7 years, I've taught 2nd and 3rd grade, completely normal classrooms. The kids are bilingual by the time they get to me. The kids speak English, and everything that I taught was in English. So I have had a full classroom, exactly like I would have in the States, but in a different country, and of course with a different demographic of children. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, people think you have to be super young or have tons of experiences. And it's not true. There is a range of people who teach abroad, from people who just are starting out in their career to people who have been teaching for 20 years, single people, married people. I promise you there is a spot in a country and a place for you teaching abroad if that's the journey that you choose to take. So let's talk about the things that you need. Number 1, a bachelor's degree in education or in your subject area. This more comes into play for secondary teachers. So for example, having your bachelor's degree in math, if you are a middle school teacher or a high school teacher, that is the first step. That bachelor's degree is going to open so many doors for you, and you need it. The second thing is having your teaching license. Depending on where you're from, it might be called something different, but you need to have a teaching license that says you are a qualified teacher and you are allowed to be teaching these kids in the classroom. And the third thing is classroom experience. Now, a minimum of 2 years is usually the sweet spot, but some schools take NQT, which is newly qualified teachers. And when I first started teaching abroad in 2014, I was a newly qualified teacher. I was about to graduate from college. I hadn't even finished yet, but I was able to secure the job, obviously with the promise that I would have my bachelor's degree and my teaching license by the time that I got there in the fall. So there is some wiggle room around that. If you're scared about the fact that you've never taught abroad before, a lot of times on the applications, they will say, we are looking for and we will hire newly qualified teachers. And that's going to be your in. Right now, where can you actually go? This is probably one of the most asked questions that I get. And when I say you can literally go anywhere, I truly mean that. A lot of people go to Asia, China, Japan, South Korea. There's a few countries in Europe that the process I think is a little bit easier, because I will say I feel like it can be a little bit more difficult to get teaching jobs in Europe just because of some of the visa issues. You can go to Latin America, South America. The places are endless. Now, my preferred area and where I've spent the last 7 years is teaching in the Gulf, the Middle East. I taught in Kuwait for 4 years. I taught in Qatar for 1 year, and I taught in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, for 2 years. And the reason why I prefer this area is because of the benefits package. Okay, not only are you getting your flights to and from your home country, you're getting health insurance, you're getting either a stipend or a place to live, you're also getting a tax-free salary. And that to me is the biggest bang for your buck, especially if you have a lot of financial goals that you're working towards. That is going to be one of the biggest, I think, benefits to teaching in the region. Now, the other things I listed are pretty standard for most packages, but there's something about the tax-free salary that just really makes the GCC very enticing to me. But you are free to choose wherever you want to teach based off your comfortability and what it is that your goals are with teaching abroad. So let me also give you a little bit of background of my story and how I got here. I started teaching abroad. It was actually my first job out of college. I graduated with my degree in elementary education in 2014, and at first I was going to go get my master's in London in education, and I actually had been accepted to the University of Leeds. And then I thought, what if I hate teaching? Like, what if I get in the classroom and I don't like it? And now I've already got my master's. This is crazy. So I decided to sit and think, like, maybe I could still find a way to go abroad and teach. And so I literally, 21-year-old me, mind you, at this time, no experience, never been out of the country, didn't even have my passport. My family pretty much stayed right in the Midwest. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I went to college in Iowa. So this was not something that was like in my family. It wasn't normal. It wasn't something that I had seen growing up. This is something that I call it divine intervention because it truly did change the trajectory of my life. And so I literally Googled teaching jobs abroad, and I found a bunch of companies. Now, there are companies who sort of act as the liaison between you and the schools, right? You can, and I will go over that a little bit later in the series, but I connected with the only free one at the time. Mind you, I'm a senior, 21, not really bringing in a lot of money. And I set up my profile, had an interview with the recruiter, and he was like, do you want to go to Kuwait? And I was like, not really knowing much about it, to be honest, not really knowing much about the region, the culture, the language, any of that. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Actually, I do want to go to Kuwait. Let's set it up. So we set up my profile, had a conversation with him, set up an interview with an all-boys school in Kuwait, had the interview at 4 a.m. I remember because of the time difference on a Friday on Skype at this time. Mind you, this is 2014 on Skype, and I had the job 3 days later. And the rest is pretty much history. I really enjoyed my time in Kuwait. I think that those first couple of years after you graduate college and you're getting into the workforce really determine a lot of your personality, a lot of your relationship building, a lot of your connections. And I think it was a very formative time for me to be in the place that I was at that time. And I still have so many relationships from that time. I still have so much growth that still impacts me to this day from that time. And it really was the best decision I could have made for my 21, 22-year-old self. So after I spent those 4 years in Kuwait, I decided to go back home because I started feeling some doubt and feeling like this was unrealistic and I couldn't really have this for my life, right? It was just something that you do in your 20s. It's not realistic. Even though there were people around me who had been teaching abroad and been in that region for a really long time, I still had this like nagging doubt in my head. So I went home for 5 years and absolutely not. 0 out of 10. I did my best. I really wanted to make fetch happen. You know, for Mean Girls, like I was trying to make fetch happen, but it really wasn't happening for me. So I stayed home for 5 years. And then in 2023, I moved back abroad to Qatar. I stayed there for a year. And then the last 2 years, I've been teaching in the UAE. So just so you know, this is possible for anybody. Like, you've heard my background, you heard my story. This is not something that can only happen to a certain kind of person. If you are determined to do it, if you have the qualifications, you have the time, and you have the mindset, it is 1000% possible for you to be teaching abroad. So that is part 1 of my How to Teach Abroad series. And part 2, we're going to break down what the money looks like financial, because I know that's a lot of people's biggest questions. But if you are someone who was watching this in the end of July, beginning of August, I'm hosting 2 free masterclasses, August 10th and August 24th, where I will go more in depth and answer all of your questions in a live Q&A format. I will put the link in the bio for those 2 classes, and you can join me, again, completely free. I'm here to help you, to guide you, because I believe everybody should have the opportunity and access that teaching abroad has given me, and I'm here to help you do that. So I will see you tomorrow for part 2 of the series. And if you're interested in either of those masterclasses, once again, they will be linked in the bio. Click them and sign up, and I'll either see you tomorrow or I'll see you in the Zoom.